Hi, I'm Darren, and today I'm going to show you how to season firewood, at least the way that I do. We're going to go over different qualities of wood you should be looking for, the location you're going to be stacking your stacks, how much wood will you need, type of stacks you plan on stacking, and how long to actually season it after it is stacked. So, we will go back to the top. Quality hardwood is what is desired. I would say anything oak, possibly hickory. I like apple if it's available to you, or you can get something a little less BTUs, maybe ash. I've burned plenty of ash before. And then locust absolutely is one of the best BTUs in wood. Most people tend to like oak. So, and it's gonna really make a difference on what type of wood, what you get, and as far as how much work you want to do with your firewood. So, we're going to, okay, so that you got to figure out what kind of wood, what quality of wood, and rule of thumb for me, it's taken me a long time to figure this out, but I would much rather spend good money to buy good quality hardwood versus getting a medium or softwood that is free, because it's your time is worth money, and you don't want to spend twice as long seasoning, stacking, and moving around cheap wood that will take twice the quantity to heat your house. So first of all, good hardwood. The location to stack it. What kind of property do you have? Do you have 50 acres and you can just choose anywhere, out in the field, whatever? Not me, I have a small property. So I'm just using the back of my property, and I've figured out a way to get the maximum quantity with air between it and get it stacked up so it doesn't look so bad. And so this is what I come up with. There's about, I'm gonna say about 1 cord on each stack, give or take. And I have 12 stacks, 12 cords. It's pretty easy way to keep track of how much you burn. That way you know how many years reserve you have. So, location, where are you going to stack it? Where are you going to get sunlight, maximum sunlight, and airflow through the wood? That's very important. Airflow, sunlight, plenty of sunlight. You don't want your wood under a tree where it's gathering leaves and getting all kinds of mold and mildew and just never drying out. Then it won't season right. It'll just get nasty and moldy. So, location, where are you going to stack it? 3, how much wood do you need? How much? Well, that is a very broad topic, because everybody has a different size house. Everybody has a different size stove. You have a big stove, big house, little house, and it all depends on how old your stove is, what type of stove it is, if it has a catalyst on it, if it doesn't, and how efficient your stove is. And that makes a huge difference, because if you have a small house with a small stove with a catalyst, you might get away with 2 cords to heat your house. At least here on the Mason-Dixon, I'm right in the middle, right on the border, Pennsylvania, Maryland, in the middle of the state. So right here, I use 2.5, 3 cords a year. But I will say, before I learned how to properly season your firewood, I was burning 6 cords a year, and that's quite a bit. So if you get your wood in the summertime, stack it up, and burn it 3 months later, it's not seasoned. It takes a couple years to properly season wood. Your wood might, some people say, oh, well, look at this wood right here. Oh, that wood's splitting on the ends. It's all good. It's ready to go. Well, that don't mean it's properly seasoned. And you can take your little moisture gauge and you can plug it here and there, and it says, oh, it's 18%. People say if it's below 20, burn it. 15% air dried, it's ready. But actually, for some reason, it takes a couple years to thoroughly season, and I judge it by the color. If it's gray, grayed up, look how gray that stack's gray. I actually number my stacks. That's another thing that I do, is I want to always, since I have so many stacks and they're not all in order, and I've got one here and there and everywhere, and I got 12 of them, so I numbered them, and it's pretty easy. I just go to number 1 stack, which was the oldest, number 2 is the next oldest, 3 is the next oldest, and somewhere down there's 4, and that way when you're done burning that stack and you need to replenish that spot for next year, you just go to your last number 12. Okay, well, next year when I stack that up, it's going to be stack number 13, and then stack 14, and if I have a hole up there, it'll be stack 15. So that's how I keep track. I believe any hardwood should be seasoned 2 years. Now, some people say that's a long time to season firewood. That's ridiculous. You don't need to do that. Well, wood will burn dried out for 3 months, maybe 4, maybe 6. It might burn 2 months. You can get it to burn, but you will be burning up major BTUs in that wood to get it dried out to burn. So any fire will burn if the wood's not just regularly wet yesterday. You can get it to burn tomorrow. But truly seasoned wood, you put that in the fire and it lights up, almost like there's fuel on it. So now, the type of stacks, I kind of got off track. So the type of stacks is my next topic. What type of stack do you want to stack? They say if you just stack in single row, you just stack a nice single row and stack it up, and you got air on both sides, it should dry out much faster. Put a little air between it. Well, I wanted to do that. I have a good friend of mine, he does that. But with me, I got 12 cords of wood on my little property in this little patch here. So how many single stacks? It would take up half my backyard to stack 12 cords in single stacks, single rows, and it would be balancing, and you couldn't get it any more than 4 feet high. And so this is the solution I come up with, to stack it 6 foot and interlock it proper to get maximum airflow, accessibility, and you must, I may have skipped over this, what type of, you do need to have a skid, a wood skid on the bottom. If you can see this here, there's a skid. This is about a 1.5 year old stack, maybe 2. It got wood. It starts to collapse a little bit, but there's air going underneath of it. You need a wood skid. Any wood, good packing, shipping skid. Right there's a good one, good solid example. The air can get underneath of it. Airflow comes in the sides, and it comes in. There's airflow. You do not want your stack directly on the ground. It will wick the moisture. It will suck the moisture up through the bottom, and it will rot. So that's my stack. And I guess y'all have heard of his Holzhausen. I've done that before. That is a ridiculous amount of work. extra work. And there's no way for me, I'm trying to use my space proper. I don't know how I could have gotten 12 small Holzhausens in this area and have access down through the middle. It just didn't work. And I've done a big Holzhausen. I've built one before. It was 10 foot across, 12 foot high in the middle, and it had structural problems. So anyway, now we're moving on. That'll be a topic on another day. How long to season it? And I kind of already gave that up, didn't I? I feel if you just started burning or you're just watching this now, well, obviously you can't go back in time. So get as much wood stacked up as you can. If you typically burn 4 cords a year, then you want 3 years. So I'm saying if you burn 4 cords, just stomach it 1 year. If you put the money out, buy it, get it, good solid hard wood that will last, do it one time, stack up 3 years of wood, and always burn the oldest. And you keep 3 years worth of wood on hand at all times. You only have to do it once, and then each year after that, you just fill in the tail end, and it's only enough for 1 year. So you do it one time. And the difference between having truly seasoned wood and wood that's just a couple months old, it makes a huge difference. I think I saved a third. If I used to burn 5 or 6 cords, now I burn 3 cords, sometimes 2.5. You wouldn't believe the difference. So, all in all, this is Darren, and that's how to season firewood. And I guess have a good day. Thank you.